What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Age, and I am here to talk about the second book in the series Mead Mishaps called That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Portion at a Werewolf. It is by the author Kimberly Lemming. So this is officially my second book review, and I'm just going to tell you about the story till I figure out what exact structure I want for these book review videos. Also, feel free to let me know what you think I should add to them. So, this story happens right after the tales of the previous story where Cinnamon went on her adventure and met her fearless, fine husband, Fallon. The main character in this story is Bree, and she is a cheese maker, and she's a cheese seller. So you realize Cinnamon, in the previous story, she formed Cinnamon, and Bree, the name Bree, cheese, is a cheese maker. So their names say a lot about, what they do. Well, in this story, she gains a puppy, a giant, scary-looking monster wolf who has possibly imprinted on her, or it may just be the love portion that he was hit with. To be honest, we don't find out until the end of the book which one it was. Also, small caveat that's different from the first book review I did. I was trying to do spoiler-free, but I think I'm going to spoil the books. So, spoilers! You know my channel, I like to talk. Anyway, my feelings while reading this book was very intrigued at how deeply Felix, the love interest, fell for Bree. And like Bree, I really hoped he actually imprinted on her because my girl Bree needed it. She actually deserved love. Bree didn't have a tight-knit type of family such as Sin did, and Sin's her best friend. Bree was more of a do-it-myself kind of girl, and she was a loner. And she also liked her quiet. She was also a reader, much like myself, who indulged in romantic books from time to time. And her drugged-up suitor just so happened to find these books, by the way. And the books were about humans and mythical creatures falling in love and doing some very freaky things. And Felix was like, I can make some of these fantasies come true if you want. So, with that said, I will have to rate this book explicit as well because they do have a lot of freaky deaky sex scenes in here, including some tentacles. So just like the first book, the genre of this one is fantasy because of the mythical creatures, the adventures, and the magic. It would also be kind of like a rom-com as well because this book is hilarious. Bree's internal monologues with herself aren't too far off from things that I would think of, especially being unrealistically realistic with myself in times where I would benefit with just going with the flow. You overthink things. That was Bree. Caveat. This book is unlike the first book because it switches point of views from Bree's to Felix, which I actually like the point of view switch. That's kind of like Game of Thrones way of reading. And I also believe the epilogue is Dante, and that is new because we never really hear from Dante. He's more of like a side character in these stories. A quick synopsis though. Bree hits Felix with a love potion and he is doting and loving on her as much as he could, as much as the world would allow. But Bree isn't the most open or out there person. As mentioned, she likes to keep to herself. She likes her space. She don't let people touching her really. So while she deals with a love-struck Felix, a love-struck puppy who swears she is his soulmate, young girls and women are being kidnapped by just this misogynistic group of fucks, and it is up to Bree to save them. She even finds herself in the belly of the beast, guys. So what is Felix gonna do now that his baby girl has disappeared? And what is Bree gonna do once, she disappeared? So that's all you get. Would I recommend this book? Absolutely. Just like I recommended the first one. This is like a light read. I really like it. I think that, it's fun. It puts you in good spirits. And I think it's quick. Just like the first book by Kimberly Lemming, which I also think you should read. It's called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, where the main character is Sin, who we mentioned before in this story. So, it's another, like I said, light read. It's nothing too hard on the emotions or the soul. It is actually fun, quirky, and really cute, especially between the two just unexpected people, Felix and Bree. And I must talk about the cover. So just like the first book, there was the original cover that's like more animated, and the second book cover, which I like, which is actually the thumbnail of my video, it's more realistic. It has Bree in a field of flowers and Felix sitting there embracing each other, holding hands, and the way he is looking at her is basically how he acts in the whole book. So go ahead, tell me if you read it, tell me if you're gonna read it, and let me know. Help me structure these book reviews. What do you think? I want your input. Bye now.